Now, of course, Ethiopia then is a feudal country. The emperor of Ethiopia at the time of the Battle of Adwa was Emperor Menelik II. Now, before him was Emperor Johannes IV. Now, Johannes IV had warned Menelik when Menelik started talking to the Italians. He had warned him that, you know, these Italians have already occupied this part of Eritrea, and these are not people with whom to form a friendship, because what they're after is taking over Ethiopia. We lose our independence. If Emperor Johannes died, Menelik became emperor. And he was responding to that, the attempt by the Italians to take over Ethiopia, to colonize Ethiopia. So the Battle of Adwa, as I say, end of February 1896, is a battle to ensure the continued independence of Ethiopia. That Ethiopia shall not be like all of these other countries which had become colonies of the West. I do hope that there would be some book that all of us would be available here in this country for us to read about this, because it's a fascinating story of leadership. Professor Muchi was saying that one of the problems that we have, a curse on we have, is this weakness of leadership on the continent. It's absolutely extraordinary to read about this, because Menelik, for instance, the Ethiopians had been fighting battles. They had fought battles against the British, against the Egyptians, against Sudan, against the Italians, and so they were sensitive to this fact that to defend the independence to guarantee the independence of Ethiopia, you had to deal with these possible interventions. And two matters were critically important. One of them was the unity of the Ethiopian people in defense of that independence. And I'm saying it's fascinating to look at this and to see what these emperors and feudal leaders, royal people did, very conscious about the need to maintain the cohesion and the unity of the Ethiopians about the matter of the independence of Ethiopia. For instance, as part of that, there was a schism in the Ethiopian church, a theological schism, division. Now, this is a very Christian community for centuries. And the emperors understood, Johannes IV in particular understood, that if you allow this division in the church, it's bound to impact negatively on the unity of the population as a whole. So we need to deal with this. Now, example, so they sorted the matter out in terms of theology and all that, but Emperor Johannes made a comment which today makes you a bit. He said one of the things that needs to be done, if there are any continuing heretics in the church, you must cut off their tongues so that they must stop talking nonsense to the people. But I'm saying this was the idea of maintaining the unity of the Ethiopian people so that they can act in unity against any foreigner who wants to take away their independence. The second matter was they'd understood that you needed to be properly equipped with weapons. And so you have a very interesting situation as they are quarreling with that's the Ethiopian monarchy, as they are quarreling with the Italians, they were busy building very good relations with the French, with the Russians. The point that was made here by Professor Schobier about even in those early days, diplomats, emissaries from the African continent interacting with the rest of the world. The consequence of which was that the Ethiopians were able to arm themselves with modern weapons. And that unity is very important because the war that the Ethiopians had to fight against the Italians had to be carried by the people as a whole. It's not a matter of there's a professional army which must fight another professional army and the rest of the people is standing by. No. Because you've got the figure that's given is that the Emperor Menelik had managed to mobilize the people who actually went and confronted the Italians at Adwa were something like 100,000 people. Who really literally it's an army that must live off the land. So the peasants must supply the food, both for the people and for the animals, the horses and so on, and the donkeys that are carrying things. So the whole nation is united behind this. And they defeated the Italians at Adwa in 1896.